My name is Tony Stucker, and I'm the owner of Pop-A-Shot. Pop-A-Shot is the originator of the electronic basketball arcade game. So we make games right now primarily for the home. You can see some models behind us here that people can play. So it's the classic arcade game that you can now bring into their home. So our market's primarily right now US. We don't do much in the way of international sales. We started growing some in Canada, but it's primarily US. Our core market really is families with children at home, and particularly those areas where they've got basements. It's a pretty large game. Sometimes it doesn't seem that way until you actually put it together in a small space. So most people who get it, it's perfect for areas like here in the Midwest, Northeast, where they have extreme weather and it gets cold. The kids are trapped indoors. Get a Pop-A-Shot, put it in the basement, and they're good for the winter. So the business was originated in Salina, Kansas, right in the heart of Kansas. The business, the company, the game itself was all created by a man named Ken Cochran. He had been a college basketball coach, got the idea for the game back in the early 80s, started making the games. Back in the 80s and 90s, Pop-A-Shot was it. Eventually others came into the space, but he kept the business. About 4 years ago, found the business was for sale. He was in his 80s, was looking to retire. I was living in California, but just saw that it was for sale. Bought the business July of 2016, so almost 4 years ago was when my journey with Pop-A-Shot began. It was a couple of years ago that we realized that we thought our needs, particularly for our employees, our talent needs, were going to be more than we could find in this small town in Kansas. So we started thinking about where we could go. So I was familiar with Peoria. On a trip here, I started looking around in the warehouse district. Peoria, in terms of a central location within the country, because we should do a lot of shipping, logistically made sense. It wasn't so big that the market, the labor cost and rent would be exceedingly high. I thought it was just kind of the right fit, and the whole idea of being somewhere where we knew people and felt comfortable and things like that, it all kind of came together. I would say a couple things. One is some of the tangible economic benefits. When we renovated our space here, there's historic tax credits because this is a historic district, so that definitely helps a lot, both state and federal tax credits. City loans, we were able to get a low interest loan from the city, so some economic things like that. But beyond that, I think that the city and the whole organization, Chris Setti was one of the first people I met. He was still at the city of Peoria at the time, but talked with him, and ever since, everyone's been very, very friendly, very much interested in fostering a good relationship here. Have a great relationship then again with the economic folks at the city. You still get people just kind of going above and beyond, making welcome, connecting with people. And I think Peoria, it's at least for me, it's larger than like we were in Salina, which is a real small town. But we're not so big. Peoria is not so big as a major metro area where you can get lost a little bit here. I feel like here there's enough diversity and a deep talent pool, but you can also, as you start to meet people, you can start making connections. And I think especially here in the warehouse district, I think it's really cool, a lot of the changes that are happening, and whether it's residential or some of the other facilities going in, entertainment or dining, it's kind of, I think, a neat area. And so we're really looking forward to move in here and be part of this vibrant space. I think surprise is just, again, kind of the vibrancy. When we started looking in this area, the warehouse district, there were a lot of empty buildings and talk of things happening, but now it's exciting to see things happening, whether it's the distillery that's opening shortly across the street, the climbing gym, that didn't exist when we first bought this building, and now it's up and running. I was just meeting yesterday with the folks at the axe throwing place across the street. So a lot of kind of neat, interesting spaces down here that are all happening, and supposedly a lot more on the way. So I think that's kind of exciting. I was familiar with Peoria from, we actually got married here. Again, I've been back here lots of times on trips and things like that. But coming now as a business person, moving here and doing everything from banking and talking with accountants and everything like that, lawyers. I've been extremely pleased with not only the quality of people. I'm amazed how smart everyone I'm meeting is, but also the depth. And we're doing interviewing now for our initial roles. And as I was just telling someone, I'm only looking for one person in this particular role, and I've had at least 10 to 12 people I feel could do it. And so to have that depth is really exciting. It makes the process difficult, but it's been really exciting and makes me feel good about the future.